Jaime French, with over 380,000 YouTube subscribers and over 1 million subscribers and followers on Facebook, has revolutionized the idea of beauty and comedy. She's combined both of these niches to create something unique and special all of her own. In this video, we talk about how she's evolved from a beauty YouTuber to comedy to now a completely new series where she discusses movies and makeup. We also dive into her success on Facebook as well as her step-by-step process on creating her movie makeup videos. And spoiler alert, she spends over 30 hours working on those videos, and you're going to learn exactly what she does. If you're new here, my name is Erika Vieira, and on this show, I peel back the curtain to reveal what it's really like to be successful on YouTube. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell and like this video so that it gets out to more and more people. Enjoy the interview. Mwah. Well, hello, Jaime. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yeah, super excited to dive into your YouTube success. Why don't you share with everybody a little bit about you and how you ended up here on YouTube?
Well, I grew up sort of being obsessed with videos. I think when I was around 10 years old, my best friend, I went to her house and her parents let us play with her video camera. And I thought of nothing else after that one day. So when I turned 12, I got a camera for my birthday and sat at my house and just filmed everything I could, made sketches and stupid videos just by myself, many of which I still have. You know, when I got into high school, I was in student council and we got to, organize events for the school, and I always organized the student film festival because I was, again, obsessed with just filmmaking and anything like that. So when I found out you could earn a living off YouTube, I was like, I have to find a way to do this, and the skill I thought I had at the time was beauty. And then later I kind of realized, hey, I can make funny videos too, it just kind of morphed.
Yeah. So how did that morph? Because you are really funny, and with that, I didn't know a lot about your background, and I was wondering, did she study comedy? Was she in sketch acting? Like, how did it morph from beauty to these hilarious comedy videos?
I think I learned that I had comedic timing when it came to editing. So I had no idea. I'm not that funny in person. I'm usually the one laughing at people, so I didn't really know I could make a funny video, but just editing my beauty videos, I learned that I could make it funny, just by certain editing and cutting it at the right time. And, comedy's all about timing. So one day I saw, I was looking at someone's Instagram story. It was a girl I went to high school with, and she had tiny hands and she was handing stuff to her coworkers. And I was like, oh my God, what if I did a tiny hands makeup tutorial, So I immediately ordered them on Amazon, and it was so boring. It wasn't funny at all until I edited it. The editing was really what made it hilarious. And I had my sister post it on Facebook, didn't think it would do well, and it blew up. So that was like, it solidified for me that I was better at making funny videos than I was making beauty videos.
Yeah, how was your beauty channel going for you prior to that Tiny Hands video?
It wasn't, I feel bad saying that it wasn't doing well, because I'm sure maybe I had numbers that some people wish that they had. I think after, it took 1.5 years to hit 1,000 subscribers. And that was consistent posting and consistent editing and cross-promoting myself across all my accounts, and I just couldn't get it to grow. It was pretty frustrating.
For people listening who are thinking, well, how can I make my videos funny with editing? What are some of the things that you did or that you do that you think adds to that comedic element?
One thing right off the bat is just anything funny that happens. If you drop something, if something falls, any sort of outtake, leave it in there and cut it immediately after it happens and cut to the next scene. There's something about that quick cut that just makes everything funny. It kind of makes the viewer like, Wait, what was that? She just dropped something. Zooms, if I say something funny, I zoom in on my face. That adds a lot of comedic value. Just little pop-ups, graphics, sound effects, anything you can do to embellish your video. I'll go to YouTube and type in like cartoon fall sound effect and I download it. And if something spills, you add that sound effect, just little things that you would maybe never think of that you add to your video make all the difference.
And so obviously it sounds like that first video with the tiny hands, I don't want to say it was an accident, but it was like your first foray into maybe making it a little bit more comedic. Mm-hmm. Do you plan out your videos now with that comedic element? Because you've had several other videos go viral since then. Like if there were makeup YouTubers in 1999 or, there's a tiny face one. So how did you plan that? Would you plan it to be funny in mind?
Yeah, I don't know that I planned it as much as I get an idea. And as soon as the idea would come to me, I'm like, that's funny. I have to do it. And then now I don't really know how to edit and not make it funny. Like it's just my instinct now to zoom in at this part and to cut this part or to add this graphic. So everything is funny now. I think I would feel weird making a non-funny video.
Yeah. So take us back to when that video of yours went viral on Facebook, that tiny hands one. What happened after that?
Oddly enough, almost nothing happened apart from, well, I take that back. I got to be on the news, which was really cool.
Well, when you say viral, how many views was that too?
Between my original post and then when BuzzFeed reposted it shortly thereafter, I think it got to about 35 million. Mine was like 14 million and they got, or 14, 15 million and they got like 20 million. So
that's on Facebook.
Somewhere around there. But at that time, I was saying yes to any media outlet that wanted to reshare it because I wanted that exposure. So it got more than even that. That's just like, those are the view counts that I remember. But so many media outlets were reposting it. Wow. So it got even bigger than I even know.
Wow.
But yeah, not much happened. I didn't get paid for it or anything because it was on my sister's personal Facebook page. So nothing was monetized. And Facebook is kind of weird. If you link anything in your like description or your caption of a Facebook video, if you link anything away from Facebook, your video doesn't do as well. It ranks lower in the algorithm. So I think I tried to link my YouTube channel once I realized it hit like 134,000 views. I text my sister and I was like, link my social medias, But I think that kind of hindered the video a little bit. Like it could have got bigger. Mm-hmm. But I think I got up to like 8,000 subscribers from it. So that was at least something.
8,000 YouTube subscribers?
Yeah, because I linked my YouTube channel on the Facebook video.
Got it. Looks like you reposted that same video onto YouTube.
Yeah, I always upload at the exact same time to Facebook and YouTube, or at least I used to before. Now a company helps manage my Facebook page because it got too big for me. Mm-hmm. But I used to upload at the exact same time, and I would always get triple, quadruple, 10 times the amount of views on Facebook that I do YouTube. So I just saw that opportunity and started linking my social accounts on Facebook, before I learned that you shouldn't do that. But it brought a lot of traffic to my channel.
Yeah, and so are you more focused on growing your YouTube or your Facebook?
Right now I'm kind of focused on all of it. Like I said, a company kind of runs my Facebook page now, and that has really skyrocketed my Facebook page. So I don't necessarily think about growing it. I just kind of create content and hope it does well everywhere I post it.
Yeah. And so how many subscribers you have or followers you have on your Facebook page?
Followers, I think I checked yesterday and it was 1.6 million.
And how many do you have on YouTube?
I should know this. 383,000.
Okay, so you have significantly more followers on Facebook than YouTube.
Yeah. It's my biggest account by far.
Yeah. So when you're creating content, are you creating it for one particular platform in mind, or are you creating it and just hoping it does well on your different platforms?
Yeah, I would say I definitely do separate things. Apart from Facebook and YouTube, I look at that as kind of the same as far as what type of content I create. But then TikTok is obviously totally different. They're vertical videos, they're short. And then now recently, IGTV is monetizable, and that's a whole nother thing I have to delve into. So those are, I guess that's the only time I really separate the type of content, is if it's for TikTok or IGTV, and then YouTube and Facebook I lump together.
So YouTube and Facebook is basically the exact same content.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if somebody listening is thinking about adding a Facebook page and maybe doing what you're doing and say, well, I might as well upload my videos, my YouTube videos onto Facebook too. Why not? What advice would you tell them?
In the beginning, I would share it to my own personal page, and it just, even in the beginning when I had like 700 likes on that page, I always got more views there, because Facebook has a different culture. They have the share button. So share it to your own personal page. And then if your friends and family and people you went to school with and anybody that you're personally friends with sees it, if they like it, they will probably hit share too, because that's what people do on Facebook. That, and just promote it, I would promote my YouTube video on Instagram and my Instagram video on Facebook and my Facebook videos on Instagram. You just kind of got to cross promote yourself. Ask your friends to like your Facebook page, or actually they have a feature where you can literally click invite, and you can invite everybody on your friends list to like your page. Not everybody will, but it's just a good way to get your
name out there.
At least get people aware. Yeah.
And I know with YouTube, the thumbnails and the titles are such an integral part to seeing success. Do you just plop the same thumbnails and use the same title on Facebook as you do YouTube?
When I was totally in control of it, yes, I just did the same thumbnail. But this company that runs my page now, they will make multiple versions, like maybe 3 different thumbnails, and they test them to see which one's going to perform better. And a lot of times they have come up with, like, they'll take like a screen grab from the middle of my video where I'm like frozen and making a weird face and put text on it and stuff.
So what are the thumbnails that seem to work? And are the same thumbnails working for YouTube as it does Facebook, or does there seem to be different nuances that do better on either platform?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. And now that you're asking it, I realize on Facebook, the very organic looking thumbnails where my face is frozen and I'm mid-sentence seem to do well. On YouTube, I've kind of tried that in the past, and I don't get as many clicks. YouTube, it's all about professional staged thumbnails that you have to spend an hour making.
Yeah, that's interesting. So it sounds like you have different thumbnails for each platform.
Yeah.
And what about the titles and the SEO research, or any of the keywords? Is it the same for Facebook as it is for YouTube?
That's a good question. I'm not very good at like looking at my analytics. And what did you say, keywords?
Keywords, yeah.
Yeah, to me it seems like it's about the same. Usually they don't really change my titles. I do put thought into my titles. A lot of times it takes me a long time, especially for a movie review, because you want your title to explain so much, but you only have so many words.
Yeah.
So that's always what I aim for with my titles, is how much information can I give without it being a paragraph. And usually they cross over pretty well with Facebook also.
So yeah, let's talk a little bit about you mentioned your makeup reviews, how you've kind of evolved to, makeup and in comedy, and then now you're doing these makeup or these movie reviews. How did that progression happen?
I was watching a male creator. His name's Drew Gooden. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. He is so funny. He's just a comedian. He just like kind of rants about stuff, makes fun of stuff. And I watched a bad movie review that he did, and I have never laughed so hard just at the way he ripped this movie apart. And it just never dawned on me that you could take a movie that someone else made and cut it up and make fun of it, make it funnier, And I was like, I wish I could do that, but I I don't feel like I'm allowed, I felt like I was in a box, and I had labeled myself as a makeup artist with the occasional comedy sketch. I was like, I don't know how my audience would react if I reviewed a movie. But then it dawned on me that Bailey Sarian, who, do you follow her?
Yeah, I know who she is, yeah.
She kind of helped me realize that you can do makeup and tell a completely unrelated story, like what she does with the murder mystery, and it was allowed. I always say that I felt like she gave me permission to take this like funny thing I wanted to do with movies and add makeup to the equation. And I just tried it one day, and again, it was something I didn't know I was going to be good at doing. I didn't know if I could time things correctly, and I tried it the first time, and my audience loved it, so I was addicted after that.
Yeah, so what would you say your channel topic or niche is now?
Oh, that's such a good question. I don't think I could put one label on it. On my Facebook bio and my Instagram bio, I say comedian, makeup artist, singer. So I try to say it all so that anyone who visits my page will know that I'm not really just going to do one thing. Eventually, maybe one day, I would like it to be like a comedian with an emphasis kind of in the beauty or a background in the beauty space. But we have to see. Everything's always changing and evolving.
Yeah, so how do you make decisions on what type of videos to upload onto your channel?
I do a lot. I base a lot off of my viewers' requests. So I know now for sure that the makeup and movie series is going to be a permanent thing. They're my most viewed videos as far as my regular content goes. Like if you're ignoring the big viral once a year type of videos, my audience loves them the most. They've grown my channel substantially. So I know, and I enjoy doing them the most. So I know that's permanent. So after that, the question is just what movies do I review, and I just go off my viewer suggestions. And then other than that, it's just random ideas that come to me. I'm not a very good planner, but I'll get a wild hair and say, oh, I should try this makeup line, or I should try transforming into this person. It's just random ideas that I have.
So how many times a week do you upload?
Right now, I'm only uploading once a week, but I've been trying so hard to get back to doing twice a week. It's very hard to get ahead because the makeup and movies videos take me like 30 hours to complete.
Yeah, I want to touch on that in a minute. So if you're uploading once a week, are you just right now only doing the makeup movie videos?
No, I do other ones also. I was trying to do those like every week, and I finally realized I absolutely couldn't. I was killing myself, editing 17 hours a day just so I could get it up the next week, and then I wasn't really putting anything else out, and I realized I can't do that, and I really don't want it to become a chore because I love the series so much. So now makeup and movies is usually twice a month. This time I think I skipped my bi-weekly date, so it's probably going to be next week, which will be 3 weeks since the previous one. So I always joke that, in my intros, I've been saying, welcome back to your favorite series that you never know when is coming. Yeah. I just put them up as often as I can.
Yeah. And so let's dive into a little bit your planning and preparation for these makeup movie minutes, because when you makeup movie videos, because when you watch them, they're long, they're generally almost an hour. There's a ton of video clips in there right at the perfect moment. So, like combing through the movie to figure out which clips go where. So if you are, say somebody says, I want you to do Clueless, or I want you to do Can't Hardly Wait. You do a lot of those 90s, 2000s movies. Where do you start?
So I watch the movie myself. I usually rent it on Amazon or something on my TV, and I can usually tell within the first few minutes if I want to review it or not. And if I do, I order the DVD on Amazon because you cannot get the footage from the movie into your editing software unless you have what's called an MP4 file. I'm sure you know what that is. So that can be really hard because sometimes I can't find the movie and you have to find like a digital download. So that's always my first step is, do I want to review it, and then can I find it?
Mm-hmm.
Once I find it, I upload it onto my iMac, I rip it to an MP4 file, I pull it into my editing software, and then I go through, and anytime I have a thought, like any joke I have, I add a marker. You just hit the letter M and it leaves a marker.
Mm-hmm.
And then I usually go back through a second time to all my markers, take notes, and then that takes several hours. I decide which clips I want to recreate because, I recreate a lot of them and green screen myself into them. And that can be tricky because you have to find scenes where the camera's not moving and where you can tell that I'll be able to cover up or remove the actor from the actual scene. Mm-hmm. You have to do research on it, look up actors, look up directors, look up the budget. Sometimes I'll read articles from other people who have reviewed it if I struggle with wording something because I'm not like very eloquent with my speech. Then the next step after I have the whole outline and script and everything written is filming just the actual talk through, where I do my makeup and talk through the whole movie. Mm-hmm. So then I usually take a whole day. Like today, all I did was edit the talk through for the Bring It On episode I'm doing.
Oh, I love Bring It On.
Well, so this is I'm doing the third one with Hayden Panettiere.
Oh, yeah, I never checked that one out. I didn't even know there were 3.
You're not missing anything. It's really bad. But so tomorrow, once the talk through is edited, then I'll do the overlay. So then I, like you said, as I'm describing this one scene, I have to find that scene in the movie and, lay it on top of my footage and add pop-ups. That is the part that takes the absolute longest. Then when my cousin's here on Monday, we film the green screen clips, then I edit those.
Wow.
So that's about the whole process. Then I put it all together, and if I have a sponsorship, I have to film and edit that and put that in there. Do the thumbnail. My sister does the description boxes now because it just was too much for me. And then we upload.
Oh my God. So how many hours? I think you mentioned earlier, what do you say, like 30 hours? Or how many hours for one video? Or that particular series?
Yeah, for that series, about 30 hours. 30, 40.
And that's spread over, a period of a couple weeks?
Yeah. Yeah, I can't quite do that all in 1 week because I would never put anything else out, and then I probably wouldn't be married.
Yeah.
Because I would just be in here all the time. But yeah, about 2 weeks-ish.
Yeah, and has that time that you've taken and put into the video series grown as the series has continued to remain popular?
Has the time grown?
Meaning, have you put more time into it now that you know it's going to pay off for you?
Yeah, for sure. I was just thinking about that recently. I was like, why has this gotten more complicated and taken me longer than when I first started? Mm-hmm. And I think it's just because I've grown to love it so much more. My audience has grown to love it more. And I, like you said, I know it's going to pay off. So I just don't want to skip anything, any graphic I can add, any little fun fact I find about the movie, or if I find like a behind the scenes interview or anything that will add value to the video, I bite the bullet and do it because I've just learned that it's worth it in the end. Yeah.
So the first time that you worked on this series, do you remember how long it took you?
I don't remember, but if I had to guess, I would say like 6 to 10 hours. I feel like maybe
way less.
Yeah, maybe closer to 10. I know it took longer than my average videos just because I had to overlay the movie footage, but it was nowhere near what it has become now.
Yeah, I mean, that's incredible. It's really great when an idea like that, especially one that you enjoy, that your audience enjoy, it takes off because now, like you said, this is a permanent, or at least, permanent for now.
Yeah, until people get sick of it.
Yeah. I mean, it's really cool. I would imagine because it's long, it's like an hour, right? And
they're like 30 minutes.
30 minutes? Okay.
My longest one was 48 minutes, and I about died editing.
Yeah. But, putting that kind of product, because I get the question all the time, well, how long should your YouTube videos be? And I'm like, well, however long people can stand watching you for that video, really. And I'd imagine for something like that, that's 30 minutes, 40 minutes. for it to be so successful and get the hundreds and thousands of views, the watch time there is probably pretty high per video.
Yeah, and YouTube always tells me, it says like people watched this longer and therefore it was recommended to more people.
Mm-hmm.
And that I never knew that until this series. I always thought you were supposed to make short videos, but anything you can do to keep people watching longer, then YouTube is like, oh, now we're going to recommend you more, that was very eye-opening to me.
Yeah, because you've got these videos and now you're really, really putting the blood, sweat, and tears into them. But it's paying off. So
yeah, and it's just so fun. I just can't ever see myself not doing it. You know, I made videos when I was 12 years old where I would take my camera and record the screen. I would put a movie in and record the screen and then record myself as if I was speaking to the characters in the movie. Like, I've always done it. I never knew I could do it for a living.
Yeah. So you were a YouTuber before there were YouTubers.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you landed in the perfect spot for you. Your videos are hilarious. I got so many requests to have you on. So thank you, Jaime, for coming on and sharing some insight into your YouTube success. And for anybody not familiar with you and your channel, where can they find you?
My name's Jaime French on all my accounts. Jaime spelled the weird way. Jaime, French like French fry.
Awesome, Jaime. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.